What is up, everyone? I am Sean, or the Minecraft Avatar, and I'm back! Hopefully, with no big breaks again in the future for quite some time. What you are watching right now is some footage from my hardcore world while we have a little bit of a chat about where I've been. First off, I want to apologize for not uploading for 2 months. I'm sure you wondered where my Justice League pack was, where Wayside was, why I stopped all streaming. So, I'm here to explain all of that. Before anything else, I'm not done uploading. Wayside is not over, the Justice League data pack isn't cancelled by any stretch. But before we get into why everything was delayed, let's focus on some positives in my life before I get into the negatives as to why I stopped uploading. The number one positive thing is Nicole. I've been dating my girlfriend Nicole for over a year now. She's one of the best things to happen in my life, and because we've been together for over a year, you will probably see her on the channel from time to time playing games, since she also has a Minecraft account and is a big part of my life. Another good and fun thing in my life is that I recently started a podcast with my roommate from college. His name is Josh, and we talk about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Ninja Turtles, basically anything in pop culture that can fall under the umbrella of geeky or nerdy. And on top of that, we are also each week going through every Disney Channel original movie from 1997 through today to analyze how the biggest media company for children has evolved over the years with their solely for kids content, like the Disney Channel original movies. This podcast is called Geek Speak, and you can listen on Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Acast, pretty much everywhere you get your podcasts. And the last major positive note is that soon I will be going back to school since vaccines are a thing, and everyone on campus is required to be fully vaccinated to go back to school in person. That also means that I will be able to make films again, which is great since that's what I'm studying and what my field is. I also have some scripts I am working on now that I hope to start production on as soon as possible, so that's all nifty and dandy. Now on to why you're all here. Where have I been, and why have Wayside and my Justice League data pack not come out in months? Let's start with some broad things that happened in life that made it harder for me, then I'll get into specifics on why those two specific things became a challenge for me to put out. In late March, I was hired by a pizza company as a delivery driver, and that's great. I needed the money, and I needed a more consistent schedule. That being said, the schedule in question that I was given was not great for my mental health. Working 7 to 8 hours a day, starting at 4 or 5 p.m., really hurt my overall motivation and work life balance. If I had worked later that day, and I knew that waking up, then it was very hard for me to motivate myself to be productive, knowing I only had a small window of time to get work done in that day. I couldn't often start something because I kept having in the back of my mind, oh, I can't today, I have work later. Which, while I know wasn't the right mindset or whatever, it's just how I thought and I couldn't really change that. On top of that, while I was at home, I often would not have access to the computer that I have all of my stuff on until around 4 or 5 p.m., also known as the time I had to go to work. So this really put me in a bit of a rut trying to get anything done in general with my life, not just putting out content. Now, specifically, why were these two things delayed? On top of all of that, I was finding it increasingly difficult to edit videos for Wayside, especially with my now busier schedule. So I asked my friend Josh to edit the videos for me. He agreed, but I record videos in AVI files, and pretty much none of his software could play those files, edit them, or open them. So, even though I had finished a video in terms of getting on the server, collaborating with others, getting multiple projects done on it, or worked on it, all on camera, with countless hours put in to achieve this, I still didn't have the time to edit the footage, and the person I had who was going to help me couldn't at the moment until we figured out the issue. So that's why Wayside was delayed for so long. As for why the Justice League data pack was delayed, there are two main things involved with that. The biggest one of those two things came down to that I was working daily on it, and I was going to make it a sort of series, showing off progress alongside tutorials by making one video for each character. That way, while I work on it, you all get individual, more in-depth help on how each part of this data pack is played, since it was going to have too much content to explain in a single release video. And then right after I put out the video trailer on my channel, I started my new job, so all of my progress got halted for a bit. I still plan on doing this method of weekly videos of each character once I start getting a chance this weekend to sit down and work on it and finish a few more parts. Now, the final reason this was delayed was because of 1.17. Originally, if everything was being made on track, this would have fully been released shortly before the 1.17 Part 1 update. So my creation would only have been playable for a very short time due to commands changing in the update. So I decided to continue work on this after the 1.17 release, so that way I wouldn't have to immediately redo so much of my work. Now, with all that being said, pretty much all of the issues mentioned are no longer an issue, because while I do have an interview for a new job, if I happen to work nights with it, the computer will be free during the days again, and it will be a job that I actually enjoy more, instead of one that, to me, just took up time. Plus, this job will actually help me out with my podcast, so that's a bonus if I get it. So, with all that being said, I'm excited to be back, and I hope things continue to thrive for the future. See you all again this week with a new episode of Wayside, and a live stream working on Wonder Woman's Magic Lasso for my Justice League data pack. Good things are coming, and as Iroh once said, destiny is our friend. I know it. Bye!